Okay, but this topic, this is our second topic. It's called factors and multiples. Okay. So what are we going to learn? What will we learn in this topic? Okay, basically, first you will learn what are factors. Okay, you define what are factors, and you would also learn what are multiples. This is something we have done in the previous lesson. We learned what are factors and we learned what are multiples. Today, we would also be learning, actually last week also we learned a little bit of something called common factors. That means I give you two numbers. Find for me the common factors between these two numbers, something that we will do today again. And if you have common factors, can somebody guess what's the other thing we're going to learn on the multiple side?
High.
No, not yet to that. Common sense. That's very important. That's right, Danya. I think she got that. Danya, was it Danya who said that? Common multiples? That's right. Okay, just if you have got common factors on one side, you will have common multiples as well. So can you see the pattern here? Okay, so you see, first you learn factors. On the other side, you learn multiples. Now remember this. Factors are operations of division. Multiples are operation related to multiplication. Later, we will go through back again. Common factors are the same factors for two numbers. They are common. Same goes for common multiples. They are the same multiples for two given numbers. Now, after learning common factors and after learning common multiples, the last part here is to learn what we call as the highest common factor. Okay, I'll tell you why it's called highest common factor and not lowest common factor. And then on the other side of the multiple, on the multiple side,
highest common multiple.
No.
Lowest common factor.
There is no highest common multiple. We learn the opposite.
Lowest
Common multiple.
The
Do you
teacher,
understand?
in the module there is prime factors.
Yes, hold on. I'm coming to that next. Okay. All right. And the last little part, extra a little bit in these factors, is to learn about prime factors. Now, when you want to learn about prime factors, of course, this comes from your standard 6 knowledge of prime numbers. Okay, so we will also go and touch that a little bit. So this is what we will be learning. Under the topic of factors and multiples, you first learn what are factors, and then you learn what are multiples. After learning that, you learn what are common factors, and then you also have common multiples to go with it, like pairing it up. And then we learn what we call as the highest common factor, and people will sometimes call these as HCF. In your book or sometimes your test papers or anything like that, they'll put the HCF. Find the highest common factor. Sorry, not reading your chat yet. Okay, sure. And then on the other side, on the multiple side, you will learn the lowest common multiple, and it's called the LCM. So now you see the picture. It's like two things separated. Okay. One is on the factors side, one is on the multiple side. Factors, common factors, highest common factor. Multiples, common multiples, lowest common multiple. Do you see the picture, guys? And one little extra thingy here, the last part here, the 7th part here is prime factors. Something extra, but no prime multiples. Okay? Because prime numbers cannot be multiples. We have PT3 this year. Yes. PT3 has been brought back from the dead. You know? They brought it back.
UPSR also.
Nah. No more
UPSR,
UPSR.
unfortunately, they cannot bring back from the dead.
They cannot bring back from the dead. It's permanently dead already. Pentaksiran tingkatan 3. That is PT3. Okay? If I'm not mistaken lah. If I'm not wrong. Okay? Yeah, so let's get back to business. Okay, so this is what you are going to be looking at in chapter 2. So far, so good. Can I have a thumbs up if you're ready to go on? Okay. All right. Okay. So now stop sharing. And I'm going to go, give me a minute. Let me pause this for a while. All right. Let's start this. So factor pairs, another word for it is common factors. Okay. So let's look at factors first. Okay. Now, there is an array. There are two arrays in front of you, array 1 and array 2. Okay. Find the two factor pairs for 9. In other words, if 9 is written down like this, how do you show it as a multiplication? What are the factors here? Can somebody make a guess?
3 and 3 or 9 and 1.
There's no 2 here. You see 1 row and 9 columns. Can you see that? So let me just go on and just explain first. So 1 and 9. So 1 row, 9 columns. So 1 times 9 will be drawn like this. Okay, you get the idea now? And if this is also 9, what would be the factor pair here?
3 and 3.
3 and 3. 3 and 3. Okay,
3 and 3.
good. All right. So now circle all the numbers. Listen carefully. There are not the factors of 30. Is 1 a factor of 30?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
1
It is
yes,
1.
2 yes, 3 yes, 4. Teacher, 4.
Oh no.
4 is not a factor.
4.
4, 5, 6,
Someone?
7.
4,
4,
7,
7, 8.
8,
9.
9.
Very good.
7, 8,
7,
9, yeah.
8 and 9.
8,
9.
and 9. So sometimes instead of asking you factors, they ask you which are not the factors. So be alert. Okay. All right. Next, find 2 more factors for 30 that are not in the list above. Tell me.
30 itself
30 itself and
and 15.
15. Very good. See, you guys are good. You're really understanding factors very well. Okay, next slide. Find the factors of 15 to complete the factor spider web here.
3,
5, 3,
1.
5.
Okay,
5,
somebody say
3,
3. Okay, 1.
5,
1, 5,
5 and 3.
3.
3 itself.
All right, 1, 3, 5, and 15. That's all. Is there any other factors? Yeah, the chat now. Some of you gave. Thank you very much. Let's move on. All right, next question. A little deeper. Okay. Which factor pair is the odd one out and why?
So what do they mean by that?
Both of these are actually a pair of factors. Okay. They are a pair. But which one looks like an odd one to you?
5
5
and
and
11.
11.
Why do you choose 5 and 11?
Because 5,
They are
like,
odd numbers. They cannot be like divided by 2 or something.
Any answers? Any other answers? Anybody else?
because if you make them line, like in a line, 5
Mhm.
and 15. No, I just forgot I said that.
Never mind. This one is a little deep, huh? So let's look. 5 and 11 is the odd one out. Now, all other factor pairs, but your reasoning, okay, have a product of 56. But the factor pair of 5 and 11 has a product of 55. Did you realize that 4 times 14 is going to give you 56? 2 times 28 was 56. 7 times 8 was 56. But 5 times 11 is 55. Now, you guys gave me the right answer, but with the wrong explanation. So if this was objective, ting tong, no problem. Okay, you got it right. But if this was subjective, then yeah, you probably don't know what to reason out. So remember, if there are 2 factors, remember what are factors? Numbers that you could divide with, right? Isn't it? So if I said 2 and 3 is a factor, that means what could the number be?
6.
6, exactly. And what did you do to get to 6?
3 times 2 equals to 6.
Exactly. So if I said 4 and 7 are factors, what could the number be?
28.
28.
Very good. 28, exactly. Do you see that? Do you see
I
that?
understand.
So 4 and 14 are factors. 2 and 28 are factors. 7 and 8 are factors. However, 5 and 11 are also factors if it's 55. But 4 and 14 are factors for 56. 2 and 28. So you must find who is the factor first. What is the number first? Do you understand? Just like how I gave you those easier examples. Now let's give it a bit more challenging. 7 and 3 are factors. Who is the number?
21.
21. You see that now? So you get the idea now of this question? Okay? And
We got to
don't forget-
multiply.
yeah, you got to, when we say factors means these two numbers were divided with to get to that. So you can actually multiply it together to get to the big number, the original number itself. You see that? Good. Very good. Now let's see the next one. Okay. These are all some, I would say, memang all this is hot kind of questions, guys. You can answer this. You are at band 4 for this topic, I would say, because this is hot. Okay. Read the statement below. Is it true or false? Okay. Explain your answer. I want to hear. Products will always have an even number of factors. Is this true?
No.
False, I guess. It's false.
You know what's an even number of factors?
Oh, wait. Yes.
Even number means what? 2, 4.
Times table 2. The whole times table 2.
6, 8. So they're telling that products means multiplication, will always have an even number of factors. Now, is this true? False. When what is your reason?
False. False.
Really? Okay, what is your reason?
Like, teacher,
Okay,
for
why don't you
example-
type your reason now?
Oh, sorry.
Guys, type so I can see in the chat everybody's reason. Okay, true or false? First you choose that. Somebody said false. Direct message also can. Public message also can. All right. Let's see your answers. More answers. I only got 2 so far. First, you tell me whether you think it's true or false. Rishabh says, Okay, if you say means I don't know. Okay, that's all. I feel it might be true. Oh my God, so expressive. Okay. False with the question mark there. False. Because, for example, the product is 3. 2 times 1 is 2. 3 times 1 is 3. It's odd. I hope it's acceptable. That's a nice explanation there. Thank you, Krish. Okay, but let's look at the answers, okay? And we learn from mistakes if we make. So don't be worried about making mistakes here, okay? All right, let's see. Oh, did
was
they
the
give us
answer.
an... Yeah, where is the explanation to that? They didn't give an explanation.
It's
So guys, in that case, you would have to wait for this, okay? All right, I'm going to go and snapshot the whole explanation. I have the explanation kit, okay, with me. I will snapshot and I will send it to you guys. All right, let's now move on. I just wanted to see, hold on. Why is one person not... Hold on, yeah, okay. No one is joining yet, okay. All right, again, deeper level, The children have been given 8 counters to make an array with. You remember 8 counters are like just something like circle and circular, and you can actually place it around like game counters, okay? And array is like what you saw just now, 3 by 3, 8 by 1. Okay. Isaiah says, you can make an array that has 2 rows with 4 in each. Miriam says you can make an array that has 1 column of 8. And George says you can make an array that has 3 rows with 2 in each. Who do you agree and who do you disagree?
I agree with Isaiah.
I agree with
I
Miriam.
disagree with George.
I don't agree with anybody or disagree with anybody because
I,
Don't
Okay,
understand.
I disagree with George, and I agree with
Uh-huh.
Isaiah and what the hell? What is his
Miriam.
name? Yeah, Miriam.
Okay.
I want to say Mariam.
All right, never mind. And why do you say that? Why do you agree with Isaiah and Miriam and not with George?
4 times 2 is 8. 1 times 8 is 8. 3 times 2 is 6.
Yes.
2 times 3 is
Yes.
6.
If they are going to draw or make arrays, okay, you need to know, guys, arrays are like this. Okay, I see someone asking me a question. What are arrays? Okay, let's say I draw 3 circles and I put it in a row. I can say this is an array of 1 times 3. Do you understand? 1 row, 3 columns. You see that?
yes.
I can also make an array like this. This is an array of 2 by 3. Do you understand? So you can make an array that has 3 rows and 2 columns, 3 rows with 2 in each. So George says, make 3 rows, okay, with 2 in each row. This is how George's array is going to look like. And this is this going to give you 8? Definitely not.
No.
Can?
It's going to be
But
6.
with Miriam says you make an array that has 1 column of 8. 1 column means column is downwards. So 1 column of 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So your 8 counters will go in. 1 times 8. Isaiah says you can make an array that has 2 rows with 4 in each. So 2 rows this way, 4 in each. 1, 2, 3, 4. And 1, 2, 3, 4. You see that? You still get 8. So Isaiah and Miriam can use the counters. George will not make 8 counters. He will only make 6. This is pretty not that difficult. Okay? Yes or not? Boleh kan?
Yes.
Do you
Then
understand? Okay, good. Let's move on. This is just a little bit. This is the drawing, okay, of their so-called explanation. Okay, and explanation, blah, blah, blah. All this done. Now, the common factor. Remember just now factors? Now common factors. Okay? So, sort the number cards onto the Venn diagram. Now, guys, this is something new. Okay? When 2 circles are drawn and they overlap each other, okay, this is called a Venn diagram. Yes lah, I'm still teaching at St. Xavier's Cawangan. What do you expect me to do? Come to your menengah school lah. Okay. All right, this is called a Venn diagram. Now, what does this Venn diagram mean? It means that sum of the factors, whatever you write inside this circle is the factor for a number. Okay. And whatever you write inside this circle, the other circle is the factor for this other number here that we're going to write. Okay. Or they're going to show. However, between this number and this number, there will be some factors which are the same. So let's look at the example. What are we looking at? This is called common factor. Whatever numbers that come inside this range is called as your common factor. Remember just now I told you what's common factor. We're going to learn common factor. This is your common factor. Okay, the area for the common factor. And this kind of a chart is called a Venn diagram. Okay, decide the sorting criteria using your knowledge of factors. Okay, let's see.
can you use the same number twice?
All right. Okay, come again? No, I'm giving you a choice, an example here. What are the factors of 4? Guys, from here you can choose. What are the factors of 4?
2 and 1.
1, 2, 4.
1, 2, 4.
Okay, first we write what are the factors of 4. Okay, we have 1, 2, and 4. Yes or not? What about the factors of 5?
1.
1, 5.
1 and 5. Yes or not? So, can you see that 1 is common to both?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that 1, you will write it here. Okay? 2 and 4 will go in as factors for 4. And 5 will be the factor for 5. So in this bigger circle, in this circle on the right, you still have 1 and 5 as the factor for 5. In this circle, a circle on the left, you still have 1, 2, and 4 as the factors for 4. Do you understand? Oh my God, your chat went up so much. Let me go see what you all are talking. Ah, yes. Okay, understand. Okay, good. Clear? All right, clear drawing. Let's see other examples, okay?
The way to get
Okay. So those number cards, if you were to take them and rearrange here, you would put 3 outside. 3 is also a factor, but it doesn't belong to 4 or 5. 6 is also a factor that was given that was not for 4 or 5. So you put it outside the circle. You're supposed to use all of that. All right? Understood? But of course, when they ask you common factors, they are only going to focus to this area, this part. This part is known as common factor. Okay? And what are prime factors? Later we will see. Okay. Don't confuse yourself now. All right, let's move on. Let's see other questions. Okay, next question. I am a multiple of 5 and one of my factors is 4. Think carefully. Okay. I have 4 tens and one of my factors is 7. Oh, okay, you got to make now guesses. This is deep already. One of my factors is 10. Now, there are 3 numbers. What's the question here? There are 3 numbers between 25 and 45 that have 8 factors. Use these clues to identify each number. Then in the table here, list all the 8 factors of each number that you have found. Come on, guys. Let's try doing this now. Okay. Again, read the question. We are going to look for 3 numbers. Are you ready? Okay, that's why you have number 1, number 2, and number 3 here. And these 3 numbers are between 25 and 45. Okay, they have 8 factors. Using these clues to identify each number, use these clues to identify each number. So let's try with the first clue.
most of them.
Can somebody help and tell? I am a multiple of 5 and one of my factors is 4. So your choice, let's say I chose 20. Okay, let's say I chose 20. 20 is a multiple of 5. Okay, good. And 4 is a factor for 20. Good. But can I use the number 20, guys?
Cannot.
Cannot.
No.
So you got to think of something more than 25, but less than 45. Come on, put in your answers. Danya, I can see your answer. Thank you. Let me see others. What number? All right, Rishabh came in with his answer. How about the rest? Just for this one first, okay? A multiple of 5. So you see, when you say you're a multiple of 5, you don't have many numbers, to choose from. You go from 25, you go to 30. You see whether you can make it a multiple of 4 or not. Fahim, your number must be more than 25. Sridhar, your number must be more than 25. Remember, I am a multiple of 5. That means this number is in the 5 times table. Got it? And when you choose this number, 4 is one of the factors. There can be many factors. How can 4 be a factor for 17, Sridhar? I'm doing this. And 17 is less than 25. Even 8. Where do you get 8 from, Fahim? Rishabh, Krish, and
8
where?
can 8 times 4 36, 8 times 5 40.
Wait. 8 times 4, 36.
Yeah.
8 times 4 is 32. And then what was your reasoning? Now, I repeat again. Okay, Fahim, you chose 20. I just chose 20 earlier and I told you why I cannot. Okay, a multiple of 5. Yes, 20 is a multiple of 5. 24 is a factor of 20. Remember, multiple is different, factor is different. Multiple means it's you're multiplying. Let's say 5 times 4, you get 20. So 4 is a factor of 20. 5 is also a factor of 20. But my number here is more than 25, Fahim. So you got to think. 25. 4 is not a factor of 25. And I have to go in the multiples of 5. 30 also cannot. Because 4 cannot be a factor for 30. Then go to 35. Also 4 cannot be. So the only number you're going to get in is 40. Because 40 is a multiple of 5. And 4 is a factor of 40. Faham ke? So this number, okay, let's do the first one lah, 40. And the factors are, okay, if you want to write out all the factors, 1, 2, of course you have 4, you have 5. Okay, what else? After 5, can you have 6? No. 7? No. 8. And then 9? No.
10.
Yes, 10. After that?
20.
11, 12, 13, 14, all cannot. 15 cannot. Then
16,
40 itself.
20.
20.
Or 20.
Okay, and the last one would be
40 itself.
40.
40. Do you understand? So these are all the factors for 40. That's now you have solved one part. One. You have solved out of 3 numbers to find, you have done 1. Okay? All right. Let's go to this. I have 4 tens. I have 4 tens and one of my factors is 7. Think of a number that's between 25 and 45. So remember, you have 4 tens. That means your number must be between 40 until 45. Because only 40 until 45 can give you 4 tens. Yes or not? You remember your numbers? Okay, good. Suddenly I got a shock. Don't forget, don't tell me you forgot what is 4 tens. 4 tens means 40. So the number between 40 and to 45 will give you 4 tens. 4 tens, 0 ones, 4 10, 1 ones, 4 tens, 2 ones, and so on. And one of my factors is 72. That means this number must be divisible by 72. Come on, what's the number then?
Not 72.
Huh?
Divisible by 7. Not
Sorry, divisible by 7. Sorry, not 72. Divisible by 7.
40.
Yes.
42. Yeah, 42.
Yes, it's 42. You got that now? Do you understand?
Yes.
Okay, now time for you to list out the factors. 1, 2.
No.
Can we go with 3?
No.
Yes.
So it
Yes,
can
40 times by 3 was 42.
be
How do you know whether a number is divisible by 3? Add all the digits. If you can add 4 plus 2 is 6. 6 can divide by 3 ma. So 42 can surely divide by 3. That's a trick. I taught you this in standard 6. I can.
Let's see, one more 6. 4, 5
right, hold
cannot,
on.
so 6.
4 cannot, 5 cannot. Then we go with 6. 7.
7.
because you have
7, yes, of course. 7. Then
8,
8
no,
can or not?
9, no. 8 cannot.
cannot. 8 cannot.
Yeah, because 40 and then 48.
yeah, 40 and 48.
Okay, then after that,
12. 12.
Well,
12, no.
no, cannot.
1 to 40.
12 times 4 was
Okay,
48.
40. After that,
It's 21.
13.
21. Good. After that,
1 and then
1.
42.
42.
42.
No,
Yeah.
42. It's because
Do we have 8 factors
21 is
here?
already 1.
1,
Uh,
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah.
5, 7, 8. Good. Okay. Now, here,
One of my
the
factors.
third number. Huh?
Oh,
One
no.
of my factors is
It could
10.
be really much.
Guys,
Could be
what
30,
number could this
35,
be?
40.
Let's do the third one.
Yeah, 30, 35, or 40.
Here, now we're going to the third number now. One of my factors is 10. Between 25 and 45, what number can have a factor of 10?
30 or 40.
30,
30.
30 or 40. Yeah,
Yeah,
30
it could
because
be
40 only one of the answer.
40 is already one of the answers. So the other answer left is
30.
30.
30.
Exactly. Because you know it's either 30 or 40 that's going to have a factor of 10. And what are the factors for 30? Come on, let's list out. 1,
1,
1,
2,
2,
3,
3,
5,
5,
5,
good. 5,
6,
6,
6,
6,
10.
3. Where can?
and 10,
10, good.
15,
15,
15,
and 30.
30. So
30. Do
1,
we have
2, 3,
any
4,
factors?
5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, 8 factors.
Good, good. Now we have explored factors to the deepest level. Got it? Understand? Okay.
Yes.
All right, let's move on then. Now this fella comes and gives the answers, huh? Okay, you see that? We were all correct. Okay, that's it. This is the part where I was going to go to factors. Now, just take a little pause. All right, so let's look into the next part of our learning, which will be understanding, okay, the highest common factor and the lowest common multiples. Okay, that's what we want to look into doing today. Two things. Highest common factor. So remember, we just did some recap on factors and multiples. Okay, and finding the lowest common multiple. Okay, so all right, let's start. Now the starter activity, all right, here. Sadiq is trying to find the lowest common multiple of 4 and 6. Now guys, multiple means it's in the times table. So over here, we have two numbers. One is 4 and the other is 6. So 4 means what? Times table 4. 4, 8, 12, 16, blah, blah, blah. 6 means go on with 6. The multiples of 6. 6, 12, 18. Now, instead of me talking like that, I would prefer to write it down. Okay, and he says that the lowest common multiple is 24. Let's see whether he is right and what method might he have used to find his answer. And there are ways to find this. And this is what we are going to find out. Okay. So earlier you read about a factor. A factor is a number that divides into another number without a remainder. For example, 3 is a factor of 9. We have done factor games all. Okay, you're kind of familiar. Now, when you have two numbers, a common factor divides both number. Also, we saw this in the Venn diagram. Remember that? Okay. Now, the highest common factor of two or more numbers is the biggest number that will divide into both of them. That's why it's called highest. Okay? Because why? You are going to find the biggest number. Okay, let's see examples, okay? For example, the highest common factor for 6 and 8 is 2. Let's check this out. Okay, I don't want to go here yet to multiples. Okay, let's find this one. Okay, an example here. Find the highest common factor of 12 and 20. So remember, now go back to factor, okay? What do? We list all the factors of 12 and 20. How? There are many ways to do that. One of it is writing down in pairs, like how you see right now. 12 is 1 times 12. 12 is also 2 times 6. 12 is also 3 times 4. So far, so good. Okay. And then on the other side, you write down the pairs for 20. 1 times 20 will give you 20. 2 times 10 will give you 20. 4 times 5 will give you 20. So guys, just now we were listing down 1, 2, 5, like that, isn't it? So instead of listing like this, you can write it down in pairs. Pairs means something times something. That's a factor. 1 is a factor. 2 is a factor. 4 is a factor. 20 is a factor. 10 is a factor. And 5 is a factor. Now, when you want to find the highest common factor, there must be first common factor between both these numbers. So let's draw the Venn. Let's draw the Venn. This is for 12 and this is for 20. Where will I put my 1? 1 is in both. So I'll put my 1 in the middle.
Between.
I also have 2, isn't it?
In between.
So the 2 will also go in the middle. Now 3 is only a factor for 12. So I'll put my 3 here. 4 is a factor for both. So I'll put it here in the middle, common. 12 is a factor only for 12.
12.
And 6 is a
6
factor only
only
for
for
6.
12.
This is 12, okay? And over here, 20 is a factor for 20. 10 is a factor for 20. 5 is a factor for 20. Now, I want you to look at this part. These are all the common factors. And in this group of common factors, which is your highest common factor?
4.
Chat. 4, exactly. Can you see that? That's right, Danya. 4 is your answer for the highest common factor between 12 and 20. Do you understand that? Okay.
Yes.
And this is just one of the methods, method 1. Okay, you list it down, you draw a Venn diagram, you can tell me what's the factor. Got it? Or what is the highest common factor? So before you go to highest common factor, you must know there are common factors. And in that group of common factors, you find the highest common factor. This is what it means. Okay? Clear the drawing. Let's move on with the presentation, what it says. Let's see what this slide says. So the highest common factor is the largest number that can be found in both lists. In other words, the 4. So the highest common factor for 12 and 20 is 4. Good. Now we're going to multiples. So change your mind, shift your mind. It's no more factors. Shift it to it's no more multiples. Multiples are multiplication. We are going to go, what am I talking? Shift your mind from factors, okay? From thinking about factors to thinking about multiples. So let's see what they say here, okay? I'm going to first find all the multiples of 6 and all the multiples of 8. Multiples means multiplication. So it's your times table drawing up, okay? All right, let's see. List the first multiples of 6 and 8, a few multiples of each at a time. In other words, you write down 8 and you write down all the multiples of 8. Of course, multiple are not factors, so it must start with 8 itself. It goes on upwards. So 8, 16, 24, 32. And guys, it can go on and on and on and on. This is infinity, yes or not? It can go on. So how can I go and find highest common multiple? That's going to give me crazy answers, yes or not? How can I go find the highest common multiple when this is never ending numbers? Okay, let's see on the other side. If I'm going to find multiple of 6, you see, 6, 12, 18, 24, and blah, blah, blah. It will keep on going on the multiples. So for finding, when it comes to multiples, you cannot go and find highest common multiple. You can only find the lowest common multiple. Do you understand? Okay, it doesn't make sense to find a highest common multiple. That's why, yes?
What if the lowest number is quite big?
Well, we'll see. It depends on what are the numbers they gave you first to choose from. So let's see now. Okay, 8. So the multiples of 8 are here. 8, 16, 24, 32. Good. Then you have 6. And these are all the multiples of 6. 6, 12, 18, 24. Now tell me guys, where is it that 8 and 6 meets each other?
24.
24.
Very good. 24. Now, in case you actually forgot how to do this, let me remind you. Do you remember learning fractions in standard 6?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's say I have 1 over 8 plus 1 over 6. What do? You must try to find a
Make the
common
denominator same.
denominator.
Yes.
Yes or not? Okay.
Yeah.
And instead of
You
going
gotta
straight
find.
to 8 times 6 is how much? 42, right? You
48.
can use
48.
sorry, 48. You can use, sorry, 48. You can use 24 because 24 is the lowest common multiple between 8 and 6. Because 8 times how much will give you 24? 8 times 3. Yes or not? 6 times how much will give you 24? 6 times 4. So multiply the number on top, multiply the number on top with 3. So this will become 3 over 24 plus 4 over 24. And the answer would be 7 over 24. Do you see that? The common number, the common multiple that crosses 8 and 6. Do you understand? Now,
Yes.
where do we see this in real life? Can we find these things happening in real life? Because that's the most important question. Now, why learn maths in the first place?
Can.
Where? That's right,
Cashier.
Danya. Huh?
Cashier.
Cashier?
Like when you go to supermarket, there'll be like cashier guy standing there.
Okay, fine. How does that know? I'm asking this example. Common multiples. Where does it exist in real life?
It doesn't.
No idea.
There it does. It does. And we will see, okay? No maths is worth studying if it's not going to be used in our real life. Yes
So,
or not?
teacher, so maths, like every single number and every single formula all exists in real life.
Of course. Let's just start with any number. Like say 100. Okay, I'm deviating a little bit here. Okay, let's say 100. Why do you learn prime numbers? Do you know what is special about prime numbers?
They cannot be divided.
Any number you have in the world, it's all made up of prime numbers. Do you know that?
Oh,
In other words, I can divide my 100 into factors of what? 50 and 2. Yes or not?
Prime factorization.
And then I'm going to factor it some more now into 25 and 2. I'm going to factor this up into 5 and 5. What do you see now? 5 times 5 times 2 times 2 will give you 100. Yes or not?
Yes.
And what is this 2 and what is this 5? They are all your prime numbers.
Okay.
You see that? Actually, when I teach prime numbers, I would have thought this. Let's say my number is 1,200. Break it down, baby, break it down. And you will see that all that factors that you have finally are all prime numbers. That's what makes prime number prime. Oh my God, do I sound like Optimus Prime? Interesting. Any number you can tell me in the world, they are all made up of prime numbers multiplied with each other. Okay, interesting enough.
Themselves.
So later we will see example of this in real life. Okay, not now because I need to try to finish up this whole presentation here. Okay, so let's move on, guys. Okay, the lowest common multiple is the smallest number that can be found in both the list. So that is why the smallest number here is 24. It will meet each other. I like to call it kiss each other. Ha! Got a connection, got a bridge. Okay? Like a deja vu thing. I like you, you like me. We are already the same. Okay? All right. Okay. This is just a funny way of remembering things lah. Okay. All right. So let's move on. Move on, move on. Okay, so then they say the lowest common multiple is 24. Good. Now, let's move on to find this. Find example 3. I'm going to find the highest common factor and the lowest common multiple of 24 and 60. So now we are going to do two things, guys. We are going to find highest common factor and we're also going to find the lowest common multiple. Let's see how the question does it. Okay, start by finding the prime factors of each number using a factor tree. Fine. I hope you know what's a prime number. Okay, that's why they're telling what are prime numbers here. Okay, let's move on. 24. Okay, start with this. 24 is divided into 4 and 6. And that 4 can be further divided into 2, 2, and the 6 into 2 and 3. In other words, okay, 24, hold on, let me just move on. Let's go to 60 first. Okay, 60, on the other hand, if you break down the factors of 60, 5 and 12, okay, and then on the other side, 12 becomes or breaks up into 2 and 6, and then 6 breaks up further into 2 and 3. You can keep on breaking until you reach prime numbers. Of course, I hope you remember 2 is a prime number, 3 is a prime number, 5 is the prime number. What is the next prime number, guys, after 5?
7.
7. Yes, Tristan, it's this. You remember we did this in standard 6? I think you remember I gave you some worksheets then last time to explore this. This is where it comes back. Okay? Of course, this is not in your school and they should do all this in the school syllabus, but they are not. Huh? Baby sister is so cute. Suddenly baby sister come in already. Who's that baby sister? I also want to see. Okay, let's move on. So guys, what do they say here? 24 is made up of 3 times 2 times 2 times 2. That's what I explained earlier with the number 100. 100 is made up of 5 times 2 plus times 2, something like that. Every number can be expressed as a few primes multiplied with each other. Okay? And then, on the other hand, 60, these are all the prime factors of 60. It's made up of 5 times 3 times 2 times 2, and that will give you 60. Now, find the highest common factor and the lowest common multiple of 24 and 60. That's what we're supposed to do. Next, you can draw a Venn diagram. 2 overlapping ovals or circles. Label the left oval 24 and right oval 60 like this. Okay. The prime factors of 24 will go in the left oval and the prime factors of 60 will go in the right oval. So remember what we did earlier for 24? 3, 2, 2, 2. And for 60 was 5, 3, 2, 2. Yes or not? Now below each oval, write down the prime factors of each number in order. Cross out each prime factor as you go. Okay, maybe you don't understand, but let's do. In other words, it's like this. Starting with the primes of 24. Okay, 3. Look at 3. 3 is in both the list. Can you see 3 is here and 3 is also here? So what I will do is I will write my 3 here and I will cut this 3 off. Do you understand? Okay. Next, what I will do is, okay, that's what they did. Can you see? Next, I will find 2. Now you see, there is 1 2 here and another 2 here. So I'll put the 2 here as well and I'll cut out these 2 and I'll cut out these 2. Next, there is another 2 here and another 2 here. So I'll cut these 2 and I'll cut these 2 and put this in the common group. You see that? And you must see that 5 is left out, isn't it? So 5 goes in this group. 2 is an extra here. 2 will go to this group. Familiar? Okay so far? Guys, are you following?
teacher, can.
Can, okay, good. So then what do? We can already find, okay, well, the computer is just typing out what I'm doing. 3, 2, 2, you can see that. And then it's telling you to put the other 2 there. And finally, it's asking you to put the 5 on the other side. Can you see? Go back. Can you see this now, the Venn diagram? The 3, the 2, the common ones, the common prime factors go here. The other prime factors that don't have a common area goes to the individual oval or circle. All right? And that's how you find the highest common factor. Okay? And finally, to find the highest common factor, you multiply all the numbers in the middle of the Venn diagram. So guys, here, what is 3 times 2 times 2? 12. A little bit long, windy, but there are shorter ways of doing this, okay? I teach you the long method, later I teach you the shortcut, okay? It'll be so easy. So the highest common factor for 24 and 60 is 12. Can you imagine, just to find this one answer, I must do so much of work. So not worth our time, but this is what it means. There is a better way, a faster way, a quicker way. All right?
This is
What is that?
mathematics.
Yes, mathematics, you must also always learn the long way. Then you learn the shortcut. Okay? All right. Now, you see here, they are giving you 2 answers here. The highest common factor for that number, 24 and 60, is 12. You know where you got your 12 from? You got your 12 from here. 3 times 2 times 2. Do you understand? And your lowest common multiple. In other words, if you made the timetable of 24 going up, 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 and the times table of 60, 120, blah, 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 and going, you will find that at 120, that would be the lowest common multiple. And how do I get that 120? You multiply all these factors and you will get the lowest common multiple. Do you see how the Venn diagram helps now? I explain again, okay? The earlier we had this one question. Find the highest common factor and the lowest common multiple for 2 numbers, 24 and 60. So we did what? We found first the prime factors of 24. We broke down 24 into, 2 times 12, and then of course 12. You remember the breaking down, the 3? We used that, and we found all these factors. The factors for 24, the prime factors were 2, 3, 2, and 2. The prime factors for 60 was 5, 3, 2, and 2. So whatever common, we put it in the common group. And your highest common factor is a multiplication of all these 3 numbers in this group only. That's your 12 over here. However, your lowest common multiple for the same numbers is going to be all the factors, all the prime factors, everything multiplied with each other. 2 times 3 times 2, this is the first part, and times with that 2 and times with that 5. Do you see that, guys? Remember, this is the long way of doing things. There is a shorter way. Okay? Clear? But you need to know this. Okay. So if you still can't quite understand, I suggest watch the video again. Okay? This recording, this video, this lesson is recorded. So you watch it again and try to understand. This one needs a double watch. Okay? All right. So the lowest common multiple is for 24 and 60 is 120. In other words, instead, I can do another way, which will be like 24 and then 48. After that, what? 48 plus 24 is how much, guys?
24.
Come on. Oh my God. What are you all talking in the chat? Chemistry Form 4, Bio Form 4 all came already. Day. Well, I'm talking, okay, what is 48 plus 24? 72 kan? Okay, and then another one plus another 24. What do we get?
96.
96 plus another 24? 120.
120.
120. This is called the multiples of 24. And I can also do multiples of 60, 60, 120. So you see, this is the earlier part we did. We just list out. Now I see lowest common multiple. But another way of finding it is using prime factors. Okay? Prime factors, where you list down all those prime factors and then put it in the Venn diagram. You want to find lowest common multiple, take all your prime factors and multiply with each other. If you want highest common factor, just use the common ones. Okay? Clear the drawing. Let's look into more questions. I don't think we'll have time to even look into module today. What's the time, guys?
8, 10.
7.
8, 7, 8, 10.
Okay. All right. Now we got a few questions to answer. Now it's your turn to chat now. Okay. All right. Now let's see your answers. Use the listing method. Now listing method, guys, is the one like this, where you list down. You write like 12 and then you write like 20. Okay. You list. You list. Okay. All right. Let's try. Use the listing method to find the highest common factor of each pair of numbers. So start. Guys, tell me what's the factors for 12. Quick, quick, quick.
1, 2, 3,
1,
4,
2,
6,
2,
3,
1, 2, 3,
4,
4, 6,
6,
6.
12.
They don't tell me. Where got 8?
No.
2 totally.
8 cannot. Then 12. Okay, how about 20?
1,
1,
2,
1, 2,
2,
4,
4,
5,
5,
5,
5,
10,
10,
20.
10,
20.
20.
20. So, in all these numbers, which is the highest common factor? Common. First, you find what is common.
No, it's 4. It's 4.
Common one is
Four.
what is common.
4, I
2
think.
is
4, 4.
common. 4 is common. Yes or not?
Yes.
So the highest common factor is 1. Sorry, 4. Now, why can't we find lowest common factor? Why can't we find, my question, why can't we go and find lowest common factor? Because what will the answer be?
It will always be 1.
Yeah, the lowest common factor for every number you give me in the world will be 1. So what's the point of finding lowest common factor? We don't find lowest common factor. We find highest common factor. Do you understand?
Yes.
Same thing with the multiple earlier. Remember the multiple story? Okay. I find the highest, I find the lowest common multiple. I don't go and find the highest common multiple because that's going to land me with infinity. Yes or not? You keep on going with the multiple. Why would I want to go and find the highest common multiple of 2 numbers? That's infinity almost. Because numbers are infinite.
Then teacher,
Clear? Yes.
for the highest common multiple, you can just put the infinity sign.
They will not ask you to find in the first place. They'll only ask you to find lowest common multiple or highest common factor. Remember, method 1, listing. Okay, listing is the first method you use. Got it? Method 2, you can use Venn diagrams. Venn diagrams are also helpful. Got it? Okay, method 3 got one more lah later. Hold on, maybe today no time, next week.
Kaedah
Okay?
bahagi.
Correct. Kaedah bahagi-bahagi there. Okay, you do division, division, division and you get to it. But don't worry about that. We do this today. Okay? You guys, 36 and 27, we want to find factor. So, what are the factors for 36? And what are the factors for 27?
1, 2, 3, 4, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6.
2, 3, 4, 6. Some more?
9.
9, good.
12.
12. Some more?
36.
No. There's one more.
18.
18.
18. Right, 18
Oh.
and
Then
then
36.
36. Good. How about 27? 1,
1,
3.
2, 1, 3.
No, where got 2?
1,
1,
3,
3,
9.
9. Okay. 1, 3, 9. Habislah. 27.
So,
So, 1 is your common factor. Okay. What is the next common factor? 9.
48,
Can you
32. Oh, yeah, there. 9.
where 27? I don't see 27 here. You see
No.
that? 3 is a common factor. 1 is a common factor. So, no point in finding the lowest common factor. We want to find highest common factor. So, what is the highest common factor?
9.
9. Understand? What method are we using?
Listing
Listing
method.
method. Got it? So far, so good?
Yes.
Okay. Now, clear the drawing. Now, I'm not going to do C. I'm going to skip now to use the listing method to find the lowest common multiple of each pair. So, listing method. List means list lah. 6, you write 8. Okay? List down. List multiples now,
not
darling. Not factor. Change your mind. It's to multiple. So, what's the multiple of 6? 12,
12, 18,
24.
30,
12,
30.
15, 24, 30.
Okay.
16,
Go on. 8,
24.
24. Got already. Ngam. I can see already now. 24, stop lah. Can you see?
Yes.
Done. This is my lowest common multiple. I don't want to go and find highest common multiple. I don't want to find that all. I want to find the lowest number, the first number that they touch each other. And to help you remember this, remember your fraction, finding the common denominator. Remember that?
But
Okay.
teacher, can the LCM be like 48?
Yes, 48 will still be a common multiple. Remember, common multiple is going to be so many answers. Okay. But the okay, let's say I move on. Okay, let's say I move on. I want, what is my next number here? 30. Yes or not? After that, 36
Yes.
will come. After that, 42. And after that,
48.
48. Good. Now, on times table 8, 24, 32,
40,
40. 48.
48, 56.
This is
Yeah,
a
48 is the
next,
same.
this is the next common multiple. Do you understand?
But you
Yeah,
want it
this
to be
is-
the highest.
And again, what the highest can be infinity. Like keep on going lah. There is no point in finding the highest. That is why the question never asks you to find highest common multiple. The question will always only ask you to find the
That was
lowest, the
highest
first
common
pair.
factor.
Do you understand now? Okay. So that's the listing method. Okay, now for B, 12 and 15. Let's do that here. 12 and 15. So go on. 12, 24, 36,
36.
48, and then
60. I mean.
60.
60.
And I surely know 30,
30,
72, 84,
72,
70.
45,
60.
70.
Can you see?
Yeah.
60 already match. So this is your lowest common multiple using the listing method. Okay, clear?
Clear,
Yeah.
teacher, clear.
Yeah, good. Third, use the Venn diagram method to find the highest common factor and the lowest common multiple for each number. Guys, explore this now. I want you to take this back as a little exploration part. Try to use the Venn diagram to find the highest common factor and the lowest common multiple of each pair of numbers. Okay, so first you find the highest common factor. How do you do that? Draw the Venn. Okay, here you write 24 and here you write 20. So start with 1. Does 1 go
5.
in for both?
20,
Yes. 1 is, I'm talking about factors, factors. So 2 will also be for both. 3 cannot. 4
No.
4 will also be for both. 5 can go here because 5 can divide by 20. 6
Yes,
can go here because 24 can
7,
divide by
no.
7. No, out of the game. 8
Yeah, 8 there, 24.
will go here with
10.
24. 9 out of the game. 10,
10, yeah, 10, 20.
11 out of the game.
12,
Nope.
12.
24.
12 will go here. Okay. 13 out of the
Oh.
game. 14 out of the game. 15 out of the game. 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20 will be here.
24.
24 will be here.
24.
Well done. So now you have used the Venn diagram. We want to find the highest common factor. So what is the highest number here, guys?
Oh.
4.
Oh, you see that now? Okay. Now, in the same manner, in the Venn diagram, we want to find lowest common multiple for that same number. In other words, times table 20 and times table 24 is what you're going to put in your mind. Okay. All right. Start with times table 20. Okay. 20 is pretty easy. It's going to be 20,
20, 40, 60,
80, 100.
60, 80, 100, 120, 140, 160, 180, 200.
You know, it goes on. All right. On this side, we're going to do 24, right? So what are the multiples for 24? 24,
24,
24, 48,
48.
72,
Yes.
46.
72, then 96, and then 100.
Wait. 24, kan? 24 plus 24 is 48.
48,
48
48,
is how much?
72.
22,
72. 72 plus 24,
96.
96,
96 plus 24,
100
Hmm,
and
answer. 120.
120.
120.
now can you see this is common already?
Yes.
See? So you don't write 120 here, you write 120 in the middle, and that is your first common multiple, the lowest that crosses both. Do you understand? So 120 is a multiple for 24. 120 is also a multiple for 20. You guys understand now? So this is method 2, Venn diagram. Okay. Method 1, listing. Method 2, Venn diagram. Next week, method 3. Okay. Once you get used to this, all right, clear the drawings. Let me see. What do I have some more? A bit extended already today. All these questions we will attempt, but not today. Okay. All right. Okay. That's the part for the presentation. See, I got no time to give you quiz yet. Okay. Hold on lah. It's already 8:20. So guys, what I'm going to do is I'm going to send the link in the Telegram. Okay. All right. Not today, tomorrow. Okay. Tomorrow I will send. Yeah, I'll send a quiz. Not word wall, a different quiz. You just do, when you finish the quiz, you don't forget to take a snapshot, screenshot. Do you understand?
Okay.
Okay.
Sure, you forgot to
Take
stop
a screenshot.
recording.
You, I didn't stop. Yeah.